Hi guys, welcome to episode 6 of Back to Basics here at TopMid.eu. I'm here with Mr. Harry, Slinky, and Mr. Adam, AZ. We've got Hamza recording in the background as usual, doing everything that you see normal. Guys, welcome along. We have quite a short show today, to be honest with you. Probably going to talk more crap just to try and expand it out a little bit. Yeah, not much. The big one was kind of last week that the 4-shot kill settings and the weapon tunings was coming in, and they're now in. So we're going to go across them, have a look at them, see how we all feel about them, get some feedback, blah, 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 blah. You all know what's coming. You've all played the settings. You all knew what was what. Yeah, get a little bit of feedback. Harry's dancing away because he wants to talk about it. He loves his settings and his little Halo Bulletin. So we're going to jump down. We're going to go through, first of all, jump into the Halo Bulletin, the latest one. Talk about it kind of follows in talking about the weapon balancing. It'll follow into the Halo Bulletin and things like that. We're going to talk about TopMid's V4 settings released by no other than Mr. HS Ramirez himself. I'll have a quick overview of those. Big one, I want to give a big shout out to these guys, to be honest with you. And GoBeyond Entertainment. Kind of like ourselves, but on a massive US scale. They are trying to. We'll talk about them later on, but we're going to talk about GoBeyond and their new forum, and I want to encourage everyone from the EU to go sign up there. And then finally off, we're going to round it up with the Halo Spartan Assault that has been announced. Just a quickie, not too much. It's been announced and we'll talk about it. So, straight away, Halo Bulletin, S-Dog, the big S-Dog, far away, pal.
That is me. Okay, straight away into the Halo Bulletin. As you can expect, as Halo Spartan Assault was announced this week, it's mainly kind of focusing on that a little bit. So we're going to touch on that a bit later on. So I won't dwell on that too much, but basically it's a new mobile game coming to Windows platforms. It's Windows 8, which means tablets, phones, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later on, so I won't dwell on that. The main thing that came from this week's bulletin is that there has been a matchmaking update. It mainly affects the maps on most of the base playlists, kind of like Big Team Battle and Infinity Slayer and stuff like that. So we'll go through some of the maps. First on alphabetical order is Abandon. Some of you might have noticed before it's a little bit unbalanced as it was before because obviously the map isn't symmetrical. So what they've tried to do is they've tried to make the map a little bit more balanced. They've put 2 snipers on the map. They've put one at the top gold lift and they've put one back on the beach. There's been an overshield placed at ring 1, which is equidistant, so basically the same distance from both spawns, so you each have a fair enough chance to get it. And for those of you that play this in the Capture the Flag playlist, the flag points have just been altered a little bit to make that a little bit more fair. So moving on from Abandon, and I think we can all agree that those are good changes because it makes the map a bit more fair. Moving on from that to Adrift, another map that features in the Throwdown playlist, similar to Abandon. We don't really use it in the TopMid settings, so it shouldn't really affect anyone in our community too much. But for those of you that do play the Throwdown playlist, basically all the changes that you've seen in the Throwdown playlist are being implemented in every other playlist, such as Infinity Slayer and Capture the Flag. So the Adrift that we know, the one with the 2 snipers on either of the lifts, on the corners of the map, they've been placed in Infinity Slayer and stuff. There's been an overshield placed at top mid underneath the massive mantis thing that not a lot of people pay attention to. So basically at top middle there's been an overshield. Needlers have been placed around the map, and for those of you that have played the Throwdown playlist, where there is a little bit of there's a little bit of cover through the attic hallways. It just sort of breaks the game up that little bit and just gives the attackers trying to push into the base that little bit more cover. So that should be really really useful for game types like Infinity Slayer. Moving on to a not too popular map, especially in Infinity Slayer because it's way too big to be in that playlist. It is Complex. Mostly just minor tweaks on this. Flag points, spawns have been moved just to alter the gameplay that little bit. The red team sniper rifle has been moved to the 2nd floor of the red base, and the rocket launcher has replaced the sword in the courtyard. So just a few tweaks to that map. Onto Exile. Some of you Dominion players will know this map very well because it's all that is ever voted in that playlist. Instead of the Scorpion, now on Exile, there has been a Mantis. So that's gonna mix the gameplay up a little bit. If you see a guy walking around like that guy out of the Matrix, just like firing his guns and stuff. So instead of seeing a tank, you'll see the guy walking around, in his little Mantis.
Not just any old guns. 30% extra damage guns.
30%. As many as 30%, yes. Back onto Exile in the middle room, in the centre cave, there's been a Spartan laser, so the two teams will be able to fight over that. The railguns replace the saw on that map in front of each team's spawn. So that makes a bit more skill-based, whereas before each team was sort of gifted a saw, if you know what I mean. And that was a pretty powerful weapon, so now the railgun's placed there, so that should even up the gameplay a little bit. And the Gauss Warthog has been removed and has been replaced with a Rocket Hog, so that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays. Specifically for Exile on CTF, the team spawns have been altered and the flags have been pushed back just to make the bases a bit more fortifiable, if you know what I mean. The sticky detonator in the Banshee hangar has been replaced. No, it hasn't been replaced. It replaces the Banshee, sorry. So there's a sticky det instead of the Banshee on flag game types now, and there are no Warthogs. And that is essentially the extent of the changes in that. I won't dwell on that too much because I know a lot of the people viewing this show may not play Exile that much. Onto Haven. Again, if you played the Throwdown playlist, it's very similar to what we're seeing in that. The spawns, rather than spawning at the bottom of the Mohawk ramp and the bottom of the open ramp, you now spawn on blue ramp and red ramp. So the map has become symmetrical from the spawns, so that makes it much more balanced. In case you didn't know which side red and blue are, there's now been a few the red and blue lights placed on each of the long hallways. So now you know which side is red and blue, makes it a bit more distinguishable, and so you know which side you're going to spawn at. A few altered weapon placement. There's a sword at top middle, there's a concussion rifle on the closed ramp, there's a sniper on the open ramp where one team used to spawn. And on the little drop downs on the long hallways, there is now a lift at the bottom, so you can still drop down, but if you drop down by mistake, you can lift back up rather than having to go all the way around to one of the ramps and get back onto the street. And other than that, just a few tweaks, a few grenades put around the map. Any of you guys have anything to say on Haven before we move on?
Sword, yes or no?
It seems like people really love their swords, don't they? They're throwing them in, that's at least 2 maps they've added swords to. Halo 2 sword, yes. Halo 3 sword, no. Listen, the sword is kind of similar to Halo 2. I'd say it's good for casuals. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on from Haven to Landfall, they have moved the spawns and flags to opposite corners of the map, so now that map is available to play in a flag player, so hopefully they implement that soon. Shotgun, sniper rifle, and overshield have been placed on the map, so that's something to control. Onto Longbow again, another Dominion playlist favourite. The Gauss Warthog and the Banshee have been added to each team's spawn, so each team will get one of those. There's shade turrets now on the map, so you can have a little fun with that. I don't really think they'll be too effective on gameplay. In the centre cave of the map, there's an overshield now, and the beam rifle and rocket launchers have been placed on each team's spawn. So each team gets a beam rifle and each team gets a rocket launcher. That is quite exciting.
It's going to be a mess on spawn that game now, isn't it? It's just going to be...
It was already quite a mess, to be fair, but both teams gets a rocket launcher next to a teleporter, which goes to pretty much the other team's spawn. I don't really know how that's going to play out. On to Meltdown. Again, another sort of Dominion big team battle kind of map. The Fuhrer cannon has replaced the incineration cannon. Gorsorg has been added at each team spawn. Plasma cannon turrets have been added, and there's a scatter shot added on each team, at each team spawn, I should say. And on flag on Meltdown, a Mantis has been added to the centre of the map underneath the bridge, so each team will have to fight for that for a bit of control. And again, a few minor changes really. A couple of beam rifles added to them as well on the top of the bunkers where the teleporter comes out, so you might want to go for that. On to Ragnarok, previously known as Valhalla. Not a massive change. For flag, 2 swords have been added to each team's spawn, and a railgun has been placed opposite the Pelican Crash site. I don't really know exactly where that will be placed, but it'll be over in that sort of general direction. And the Rocket Hog has been added to the vehicles on that map as well. On to Solace, features in Infinity Slayer and a couple of other game types as well. The incineration cannon from bottom middle has now been replaced. No, it hasn't been replaced. Yes, it has been replaced. It has been replaced by a sword. So you're now going to see a sword instead of an incineration cannon at the bottom of the middle of the map.
Ridiculous.
And the fuel rod cannons also spawn on the side of the map, equidistant from each team spawn. So each team will be able to fight over the fuel rod cannon. And finally, my mouth is going dry, onto Vortex. The Gorse Warthog and Mantis have been added to each team spawn, and the Banshee has been added to the low centre of the map. Again, equidistant from each team spawn, so you'll be able to fight over that. And that is the roundup of all the matchmaking map and weapon changes. So, what do you guys think of that?
Well, I think they went a bit sword nuts. To be fair, I mean they've added at least 4 swords in total to maps that hadn't swords before. The good thing about Abandon is that when we played Abandon, there was only one sniper, and it was down by Beach, which is Gold Spawn, and now they've added one above Gold Lift. Would it have had 2 before? All right, yeah, would have added 1 before. I wasn't sure, but now there's 2. Which promotes a bit more fair, because usually one team's always at gold or ring, as opposed to beach. On Adrift, it's to have the overshield down by the Mantis. That's good, because it means people will actually go bottom middle. Sword spawns on Haven, I'm not too sure about that, or settings wise. But the Rocket Hog being added to Valhalla of Ragnarok's quite a welcomed change. Considering the Warthog, I feel, has always been underpowered, especially in Halo 3. And I'm quite cheerful that on Solus they've removed the incineration cannon. It was my, you know, that way when you would be somewhere in the map and you just hear and you'd be like, oh shit, it's coming, and it's just a horrible feeling. So.
And then if you fired it yourself, usually it went badoom, you got a kill. And then you die from the flashbacks. Oh look, splashback got me. GG.
That was always me as well. Whenever I'm firing the incineration cannon, it always seems to come straight back in my face, and I just.
There's 2 people, easy double kill, and you're dead.
It's just, the splashback is too big. Like you'd hit it in the ground, it would come up back into you. Like I don't know what weapon in history.
It's kind of like when you look at it, I suppose though, it's not intended to be shot close, though, is it? I suppose really. When you think about it, it's not really intended to be, but it is like with a rock. I mean, there's still now and again issues. I suppose you get the same on that one. When you got a rocket, you'll fire at somebody that's stood in front of you. Well, not too far from you, but they don't die. They do a Superman, and you die, and it's like, oh, confusing. The one thing that's annoying for there on me is Solace again, and these fuel rod cannons. I've never been a big fan of fuel rods, but each to their own, I suppose. I mean, from change incineration cannon to put sword and fuel rods on, that to me is not a welcome change, because it no longer gives you. I say no longer gives you something to run at. I mean, Solace, who really wants to run for a sword when you can shoot them down in the lanes? But you know, it's quite an open map in middle. It's
what it came down to. I think for 343 is that they look at weapons like the sword and they look at the weapons like the fuel rod cannon, and they're not really featuring on too many maps, especially in matchmaking. So I think it was more a case of trying to find a place for them rather than finding them on maps where it's suited, if you know what I mean. So,
the fact that they've added then, like, the pure cannon is like going to be more mayhem, because those things, the splash damage, and that's ridiculous when you fire it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good, I guess. And something else that I noticed is that, like, I think I'm right in I'm saying that the maps that we're using in the new matchmaking is similar to the maps used in Team Throwdown in terms of Abandon and Drift. So it's kind of like last time. Last time they were talking about the spawns, incorporating them with the Team Throwdown playlist and regular playlist. And I don't know, I feel like they're kind of taking that step again to kind of get everyone a bit more involved, and the maps aren't as, what's the word? They're not as different as they were before. So, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so that was really the main highlight from the header bulletin. Adam, I think you had a little look at other things that took your eye in that header bulletin, didn't you? Or was that about it?
That was about it. Just different changes in the maps. Yeah.
Fair enough then. Rolling on from that one then. Let's have a quick recap of, well, not necessarily a full recap, but let's move back to last week's Halo Bulletin. Slinky, what date was it? Harry, what date was it? Come on. You want to say it? Come on.
June, was it June the 3rd?
It was.
Of course.
Oh.
How could I forget?
June the 3rd, we finally got our 4-shot BR. We've been begging for it, and I must say thank you to everyone that has worked and pushed for this. Thanks to Waggy and who from the EU community?
Oh, Mousy.
Waggy and O'Mousy for initiating the first push towards this. I saw a lot of people when they first gave that, they all went, jog on, sunshine, and within a month it was, yep, EU settings, enjoy. And I don't think they've been given no credit, so thanks for them, guys from the EU for pushing it. Everyone else, I know Ninja pushed for it, especially after EGL9 and things like that. But there was a lot more, but I think from a competitive point of view, it was the 4-shot was the critical thing that came out of that. We all know now that the light rifle is... It's a beast.
It's scary. It's what it is. It's absolutely scary.
But yeah, quick thoughts on. And one thing I have noticed, a lot of people complain about. I ain't experienced myself, but a lot of people complain about beatdowns. I don't know if there's anything going on there. I've seen a lot of bitching about beatdowns, but your guys' point of view?
I think with the beatdowns thing that a lot of people are complaining about, I think it comes down to connection because I've been having a lot of the same issues, whereas players, I won't name them, but who have superior connections to me online have been managing to 2-shot me down pretty ably.
Well,
so I'm pretty
sure you're thinking of.
I'm saying no names. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry.
Sorry, bless you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 2-shot me down works. The weapon balancing for me, straight off the bat with the BR, is it feels a little bit slower. The firing rate, because we're so accustomed to our 4-shot before with the battle rifle, sort of all guns blazing with the firing speed, almost seem to slow that game down a little bit with the weapon balancing BR, where the firing rate was decreased slightly. So I almost feel like it just throws that game off that tiny bit, and it just makes a little bit of difference, and it feels a little bit disjointed. But I've played a couple of days since then, and I've gotten used to it, but I'm still sort of leaning towards the pre-weapon balancing 4-shot, even though this one is more consistent. But yeah, I really like the new weapon balancing, especially in matchmaking. It's so much more enjoyable to play. It's pretty much like playing TopMid settings universally. It's crazy.
Being able to 4-shot an American is something that's quite nice. Not purely based on an American, but based on the fact 5-shot settings. How? Oh, have you never done
How do
that?
4-shot Americans on
I've
across the pond?
all the time.
I'm sorry.
Sorry to everyone that this is going out to on the GoBeyond thing. We don't have anything against American people.
Yeah. It's just that playing on 4-shot settings against everyone is it's so much easier. Whereas before we were used to playing 4-shot, and then you jump in the throwdown, and you kind of forget. You've been playing 4-shot we've been playing for about a year now, right?
Yeah. No, it was about 6 months.
6 months, my bad. And
it's not even out yet.
alright,
Hashtag Ghosty Hammer settings to save Halo. My thoughts. No one else's. Anyway, just got to throw that in.
yeah, it's good, like to be able to play those settings against everyone. And I don't know about the 2-shot beatdown thing, because it's less bullets required for the 2-shot beatdown. Well, it's to kill, it's 11 out of 12. And I feel like it works every time. Sorry, Harry, since I know you don't feel the same way. But it works, and I'm happy with it. So, and I don't notice I don't think there's a massive difference in terms of like the slower rate of fire. I feel like I would notice it now that you've mentioned it, but it didn't make a big difference to me, so I don't really notice it. But I can understand.
So the first thing I did notice when coming back is that the carbine is a beast. It is so good. It's that one
really
less
fast,
shot. It makes such a difference. I've been on the Station 9 version we're using. We've taken the light rifles off, but we've kept the carbines on, and as soon as there's sort of like a bottom table extraction, I'm going straight for that carbine. I'm hiding behind the table, and I'm just like, oh, you're dead.
It's one of those things where it's a really, if it's not as good as a BR as such, one, it's good to have as a second choice to go-to weapon rather than reloading and switching to, and two, Jesus Christ, it's just so freaking goddamn it. You're running across like shit in my eyes.
It's the same as Halo 3. Like, you're not used to it when you're getting this green like flash in your face. It's So, no, I tell you what's worse.
What is
the light
this?
rifle.
Madness.
The light rifle is worse. Like, they need to take that out, I think, because I was playing it last night, and when you're light rifling someone across the map zoomed in, it's a joke. Like, literally, you can't, like, as soon as you get tagged back, you start slowing down, and then you're like half shields, and then you're dead. Like, that's it. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna walk back into my base. No, you're dead. This 4-shot kill is 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds.
Mad. It fires so quick. It's literally like the rate that I'm clicking my fingers right now. Okay, hopefully you can hear this. It's like, and then it's like you're dead. I mean, that was 5 shots. It kills in 4, so it's like that. You're dead. That's like what, barely even a second kill time. That's absolutely crazy. I actually can't really wait for the stats that come out that show the kill times of the light rifle scoped in, because the firing rate is almost overpowered. In fact, it is overpowered, because on maps like Simplex, where you can grab it from gold and sort of either sit top gold, sit top middle, or sit in your base, and you can just put shots on people from everywhere.
It's a bitch on Simplex, because you can really, you can just pin. You can do what I call doing inspired. You can literally sit in one location, and you can either slay a team or pin a team. You can do one or the other with that thing, and if you sit on one ramp with that. And you can either kill from behind and force a spawn, push them back to one side, or you can just sit and stop them from coming. It's a beast of a weapon, isn't it? It really is.
Like even in 1v1s, like when someone comes in a corner and you're standing with it, like I don't feel like I'm at disadvantage. I go, all right, and you zoom in and it's just like, because
let's have it, sunshine.
there's no descoping, and I was shooting Warlord 2 nights ago. And it's just, as soon as I hit him, I was like, I'm not afraid. Not anymore, sunshine. and it's the noise. It's a welcome sound. It's a nice noise. I like it. It's a weird sound, though.
I throw your router back at your face.
Punch him in the D.
Right. Yeah, that pretty much sums up that, to be fair. I think we're all positive. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, it's a thumbs up for me.
Double.
I'm just happy to be able to play all kinds of like 4-shot settings in every single playlist. I think that's really like the main attraction for me, especially in Throwdown. It makes it so much easier to play and so much easier to practice.
Just a really, really quick one then, Harry. I know you're kind of the same as me. But Adam, to you then, because I know Harry's kind of with me on this one. So don't look at me like that. Wait for it. Playing Throwdown as it is then. If Oddie are a full team right now, and you don't have a scrim on, and you went into Throwdown and they were the same settings at what were you going to be playing at Insomnia, would you be happy playing those settings?
They're in Throwdown.
The ones that are in Throwdown, playing them now, if they were playing them at Insomnia, would you be happy playing them?
Quickly before you answer that question, Adam, it's worth noting that the game types that are in Throwdown right now are the V3s, and Ghost Army's just released V4s. And after AGL this weekend, the playlist is going to be updated to the V4. So yeah, carry
on. At the moment, there's a lot of things still in the playlist that I played, which is also in the Needler, which is ridiculous. There's an assault rifle bottom middle on Skyline, I believe. There's a few weapons there that I wouldn't, so I would not play the ones at the moment in the playlist. But after this weekend, if they're improving them, and they pretty much will be similar to us. Like I remember Halo 3, V2, there was shotguns, and there was weapons that we never used. And eventually we got to like Maulers and just BRs. But yeah, I reckon not at the moment, but
take it more rather than saying the settings as such with V4 and V3. But I mean, everyone using a universal playlist and a universal BR.
I agree with everyone using the same settings. I think it's the only way. There's no point distancing ourselves. I mean, the reason before was Americans didn't have 4-shot. We did. That was a bold move. And then they came with 4-shot settings. We're both on the same page. The only thing that's different is a few weapon placements and maps. So I reckon the only way it's going to survive is if we all get together. That's the only way I see it. So.
And then you could actually jump into matchmaking and play teams and not think, these aren't in different places.
I mean, give me Halo 3 matchmaking any day where I could go into a game with my team of 4 against their team of 4, and it'd be enjoyable. Even against Americans, I didn't complain. I enjoy playing Americans, but now it's The only reason people didn't like playing the playoffs before is because it wasn't 4-shot. Now there's like no excuse, bar connection. But since most Europeans and Warriors anyway will host, no names, but you know, there's no excuse. So yeah.
Job done. Right. Next one then. Well, we're sticking on rule sets. We are moving on to, if I'm not mistaken, 1 second, on to TopMid's V4's rule sets. Now, obviously, we have Gusty Hammers in the pipeline. They are coming up. Did you say just after AGL 7 they'll be on?
They've been released at the moment, but they're not being implemented in.
They've been played at AGL 7. They've been implemented after AGL 7.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Ramirez has released the new Halo 4 Turbo V4 settings for the EU, which, if I'm not mistaken, these are the ones that are going to be played if there's an EGL. At EGL there would be, and also at Insomnia. I don't think there'll be any more changes. Don't quote me. Still have it testing, I suppose, aren't there?
Yeah, there is room for change there, but we've got a solid set of game types, so I don't think change for change's sake would happen here at all.
It's being classed as test and not version because they still want to add at least one flag and one slayer that has a sniper on it. And I've already given my suggestion. We can talk about
two snipes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two snipes.
This is kind of like V4, but the original ones for Insomnia, well, the ones for Insomnia would be like a 4.1 essentially then. Right. Okay. What do you think to the new settings then, as much as with implementing the new 4-shot then? It's all about settings. I'm sorry, guys, if it gets a little bit boring. It's the settings week. We get this out of the way, and then we can move on to more stuff.
Yay. I mean, we have the 11 game types, which is flag. The flags are Simplex, Dispatch, Element, Onyx. I'm really happy to see Onyx now, considering it's probably the best Forge map I've seen by a mile. It feels like an actual map. I didn't know it was Forge. I was like, And but Slayer-wise, again, Onyx, Dispatch, Simplex, Haven, and Skyline. The extractions being Dispatch 9. Wait, yeah. No, the extractions being Station 9, Dispatch. Shut up. But Rami said he did want, he wanted at least more snipe-orientated maps, since not a lot of them are there. And I already posted in the thread that he had. I reckon we should remove Skyline in the Slayer, at least. Yeah, we should remove Skyline, because it's not a map that anyone's going to enjoy. Nobody picked it last event. The only time it was played was during the finals, when no one had a choice. So,
one thing I would say there, though, is that no one had a choice. All the DLC maps were completely removed from rotation due to the licensing issue and the massive balls up by the EGL stuff. Had no idea and didn't test about the maps beforehand. But yeah, carry on.
Glad to unmute my mic. But yeah, I reckon we should have element. We should have element. Hold on. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong part. Okay.
My notes have all disappeared.
I know, it's because it's all touched together. Okay. I reckon we should take out Skyline TS and have Abandoned TS in. Reason being, people hate Abandoned. I know you're shaking your head, but we played the old Abandoned. Yeah. We had the old Abandoned, but the new one with the 2 snipers, right, on the map. Beach, top gold, which is mentioned in a matchmaking update. West is now ring 1 against the central structure in the map. 2 snipers on 1 map as opposed to none. I'd go with that. And I think we should take an element flag and have a drift flag in. Again, we all remember how terrible a drift was. That's why we dropped it.
I like it. Well, that's the only time we ever used to beat you, to be fair, but I like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I wasn't good at it, so I wasn't complaining when it got taken out. But from what we have, I was thinking off the top of my head, Adrift has 2 snipers on it, and with the idea of OS being bottom middle, and also in the new update, Harry mentioned it, is that Adrift, the top tunnels, what we call them top tunnels, there's been increased cover for attackers. What were you going to say, Harry?
I was just going to say that I don't actually think that means anything in particular other than the fact that if you think of the matchmaking Adrift before, those tunnels were completely open, whereas in the just went like that. Anyway, the Adrift that we were using had that. Do you remember that little bit of cover that was sort of to the left as you enter the base? There was that little bit of cover there.
Yeah, like half.
So I think that's the only thing that means. I don't think they've actually sort of provided more cover. So I wouldn't read too much into that.
Yeah, and there you go. There's another. You take away element, which has a sticky detonator and an overshield, and now you have a weapon with, 2 snipers on it. And there's a lot of maps to be considered. I know that what's the guy's name? He's friends with Pinchy. He teamed with Pinchy, and he's a sniper. What's his name? Waffles. He's apparently made a really good map, and I don't know what it is, or what it's called. I haven't played it, but we should be looking at other, we have quite a lot of time until the event. I don't think there's nothing wrong with slapping in a map or two. I don't know what maps are out there. Do you guys know any maps that you can think of?
I've played the map that you were sort of talking about that Waffles made. He made it in collaboration with Pyro UK, and it's really, really good. I've not actually played anything on it yet, but it looks smooth. It looks really, really good. Think of it, right? It's hard to sort of imagine, but think of it as Abandon, with sort of a ring structure, and then think of it as the pit, where it's the map's sort of split in half, but there's sort of a hallway down the middle. And then think of it as Narrows with a man cannon on one side. It's really confusing, but it's really, really good. It looks like it plays really well. There's 2 snipes on it. There's a rocket launcher. There's a lot of different ways to get around the map, and I think a lot of movement would be really, really interesting to try and sort of figure out how players use the different movement and use the different ways to go in and out of cover and move around the map, especially when running flags and stuff. So I think that map's got a lot of promise, and I've got Septic, who's one of the collaborators in the TopMid rule set. I got him to have a look at it, and he really likes it as well. So hopefully his team Vibe and Ramirez, who makes the settings, his team High Society, hopefully they'll play a few games on that, because I think it could work for Slayer and Flag, and I think that would really help us out with the sort of the 2 snipe map. But if that fails in the time being, I agree with you, Adam. I think Adrift needs to come back. I think it's sort of misunderstood. When people sort of played it, we didn't give it enough chance. At first we played it with 3 flag, was it? I think, and then we moved to 5 flag when you can recover the flag, and that didn't work either. But now the Americans, the US community has made it so it's 5 flag. I believe it's 5 flag, but you don't need the flag to be home to score. So that removes all kinds of stalemates, and it just speeds the game up that little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many times have we seen games in tournaments, and one team captain flag, the other team captain flag, and then you grab theirs, and they grabbed yours, and you both sat behind the spawn.
Geez.
You just sat there, and you would. I remember there was a game where Yak had 7 minutes of flag time, and I had 7.5, and it became boring. But remove the element of the flag not being needed to be at home to score, and you have a game. It's a map that would work. I don't see why it shouldn't work.
As far as the 2, just to break you off, as far as the 2 snipe maps concerned, how would you get? Don't put your arms up to me. I'll bray you.
Hey,
let's go have some sunshine.
Come on, say it.
How would you feel on APK Sanctuary about bringing that back in?
Sanctuary again, man.
I know it's an old map going back in, and we're trying to push forward, but still, it's a viable, competitive 2 snipe map.
Absolutely, and it's really, really well made as well. He's done a really good job.
He's done a cracking job.
Yeah.
Kudos to the guy.
But it's still Sanctuary, man. We played that enough on Reach, and I think the greyness of it on Reach, I've seen too much grey. That map's dead to me now. I think I could still go back on Halo 2 and see all the yellow and all the pretty colours, and it'd still just be grey.
It's not, this one, if I'm not mistaken, it's not grey though, is it? This one's actually well made.
Sort of greeny, sort of that sort of green tinge, but again, no matter what colour, it could be bright red, it'd still be grey to me. The Reach has just killed that.
Just blocks everywhere.
I mean, yeah, go on, Harry.
No, you go.
No, it's fine.
Okay, again, like you said, it's a really a viable option, but unless we're absolutely set on it, again, it's sort of change for change's sake, if you know what I mean. So we'd sort of be switching it out for something that we already use and is already competitive. I agree with what Adam said about Element Flag. I think it's really fun to play, but to watch it's so boring. We've got a sticky detonator at bottom middle and an overshield at top middle, and with the current overshield where it's only 1 layer, that kind of removes the overshield sort of out of the game a little bit, because it's not that good. Obviously top middle is the power position, but it's a pretty basic map. I mean, you can only spawn your flag green or gold, And that's it. I mean, you either push out or you push the top mid. Or it's not diverse enough. There's not enough room for big plays. And I think to watch it, it'd be so boring because there's only a sticky there, man. It's like it's a great show. It's teamwork and it's a great map to try and control as a team. But while you're watching it, it's like, what's going on here, man? Like, what's happening here?
We need more maps like Onyx. Onyx is a perfect example of Forge done really, really well. I mean, despite only being an overshield top middle, and of course like carbines and what lying around, like it's a really, really, really good map. It's smooth. You don't even know it's a Forge map. It doesn't look stupid or stick out or really grey. And I mean, I haven't seen a new Sanctuary remake, and to be fair, I don't mind a map that I've played before. Like I'd play Pit if Pit was like remade, like a map pack or something, and it was all colourful. I'd play it. I love Pit. Pit's like one of my favourite game types, whether it's Flag or Slayer. And I mean, if you think of a memory from MLG, I mean, usually it's like Triggers Down or Straight Ripping, and it's on the Pit. Like, it's a good map. We need maps that can have multiple game types that are good to look at, fun to watch. None of this element nonsense with a sticky D.
Going back to what you were saying about the memories on MLG, it's got to be goofy, man. I think it was against Triggers Down.
Oh
my. Was it like 46, 48, and he picked up that snipe? I think he had OS as well, and it was like quick scope, and then it was like 49, 49, and then there was it Hysteria in the flag, and it was like, oh no, I'm dead, dude. Boom!
Yeah, I watched that. The Scottish guys don't play anymore, but like we had like a big LAN that weekend, and everyone got round, and there was like 8 of us watching it, and just a bit where like, because that was back when there was no, if you got shot, you got knocked out of scope, and SK is like beyond him from like his needles, their needles to like this one, and he gets like a shot on him, and he just like looks up and zooms and he shoots him, and it's so sick. And I remember like, you know, the crowd's like, oh, and all the Scottish guys were like, whoa, like, it was great. But yeah, like, I mean, you can't have that on a map like Element. You can't have that on a map like Skyline. It's not going to happen because there's no power weapons. Like, we need to, you know, we have all the tools. We have Forge. We have great people making great maps. Like, let's make the most of it. Let's not go, well, this game's like, you know, halfway through, you know, let's just have an Element. Like, no, Element's crap. I like the Element of Reach, but not in this game.
The big thing I was going to talk about for me is that as well as the V4 game types, now that the 4-shot BRs come in, they've removed the DMR loadout, and that makes game types like Station 9 can play completely differently, because no longer can you DMR someone from across top middle if you get an opposite spawn top gold. And again, the new Station 9, I'm not a fan of it at the moment, but I think it will pick up. Mainly because the doorways to top mid provide a bit too much cover for me, especially from top green and top gold, and they just seem to, again, break the gameplay up that little bit, and it just makes it that little bit slower, and it makes it really hard to push out as well, because there's only a small sort of window you can push out into, and if you get hit in an nade by there, like, it's game over, man. Like, you can't push out.
Yeah, if you're top middle and you arm it, like the first arm you arm it, you don't really like, go anywhere. Like, you know, usually you want to have at least one person keeping their distance from the extraction so they can control the ramp. And I was playing it last night and the night before, and I armed it, and I was just like, I'm just going to sit in this little corner and just look at that. There's nowhere I wanted to go because the doors are they're so high, and there's like, it's a total choke point, whereas before the doors were really wide, and you could actually like see people like sticking around the corner. But I think I like the top middle, and I like the idea. There's actually a pillar at the bottom of every ramp that you can hide behind. I maybe shouldn't have said that, but you can hide behind that. And there's a couple more things like I said, the tabletop middle is a lot wider, so it's not before you used to arm it, and anyone could spawn and run up a ramp and toss 2 nades, and they could either kill you or make you one shot straight away. So yeah, it's good. I prefer it.
But yeah, other than that, really, I do like the new simplex. I think gold flows a lot better. For me, yeah, I mean, I'm not over the moon, especially with dispatch extraction still in there. I don't get why we're playing that, to be honest, but we've got a solid set of game types, and they're very similar to the United States rule set as well. They're being used at AGL and UMG events. So I can't really complain because Throwdown's going to be accessible for us again. We just got to ignore like the storm rifle and the suppressor and all those little needles that are like around the map and stuff. We just got to ignore them, and it's pretty much our settings, so you can't complain there.
Right. I think that's enough on setting, isn't it, for tonight, guys? I think we've pretty much gone over. We've gone last Halo Bulletin, this Halo Bulletin, our settings. There's going to be, I think, definitely after AGL, See how AGL plays. I think this will be an interesting one to look at from my point of view. See how Ghost V4 settings play on LAN. I know you kind of know what they're going to play like anyway, but just see how. I think people want to see what they look like on LAN. They look at them on. You know what I mean? Just see how they go on it, and then once they come into matchmaking, then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Ghost settings. I do want to go into. I do want to go into.
We've been talking about settings for about a year now, so I think people are getting a bit bored. But we'll
do one more, and that's when Ghost V4 come out. We'll do another subject on it, and no more, because who cares? We've got 4 shot. Do one. Right, moving on. So, this is one that I really, really want to talk about, because a lot of kudos to these guys. It's a big thing. GoBeyond, or Beyond Entertainment. The guys GoBeyond and Beyond Entertainment, they've been pushing this hashtag Save Halo kind of thing for a long, long while now. A few guys come together, and it's basically like our forums as such. You could call it, Halo forums, TopMid.eu, Halo 3 forum, blah blah blah. Halo 2 forums back in the day, run by Zed. Bang, that thing was a beast. The GoBeyond Entertainment has now opened up their official forums. You can find it at teambeyond.net. I suggest that if you're watching this right now, then 1, you know a little bit about Halo, 2, you enjoy the show, and 3, go and sign up. Anyone who's anyone, anything who's anything in the Halo competitive industry, you want to be on this website. There are so many updates, so many topics. It is kind of what, it just reminds me of the old Halo 2 forums. I mean, I'm not putting TopMid down in any way, shape, or form. That's still our Europeans forum where we come together to talk about the settings and the upcoming events and things like that. But GoBeyond is now it's relinquished what I used to enjoy about going on Halo 2. Even when I was running Halo 3 forums, .co.uk, I was still going on, Halo3forum.com because of how busy it was and how alive it seemed, because you had people putting montage on there, you had people doing artwork, you had people talking about games. It's just, you got all the stream. I mean, I've just clicked on it now. The streams channel. Who have we got? Let's see if we can pick anyone. Mr. Adamax on there. We've got Septic. I don't know if that's going to be the German. I think it's the German Septic as opposed to our Septic.
It's the German Septic.
The German one. We've got, other than that, we've got any pros on there. Pfizer's on there. Ninja and that lot aren't streaming at the moment. But you want to look at any streams, you want to go, rather than searching Twitch for good people, go on there. You can tell straight away. All the streams are there for you. Even we've got Halo 3, Halo Reach. They're playing them on there. They're all there waiting for you. We've got the new. Is the video demand working yet? It hasn't loaded up for me yet. Yeah, they have. We got the backtracked of all the old MLGs and things like that. It's brilliant. It's just kind of what Halo needed as such to go with. I know we have the forums before, and I'm not putting anyone else down, but with the new settings and with this, I actually saw on Twitter T2 talking about playing. He's currently playing Halo 4 at the moment again, but also messaging both Sundance and oh god, I've forgotten his name.
Pocket.
Yes, that's the one, miles away. About, I'd love to go back and cast in this. It feels like it used to do a little bit. It's starting to get back again. And the guys at GoBeyond Entertainment, they've put a lot of time and effort, and I think from everybody they need a big round of applause, because it's good, and it is, definitely. It is good, and it is working. So I recommend, if you're watching this video right now, you go and you sign up. teambeyond.net. Get yourself there, have a look at it, sign up on the forums, make use of them, read what's going on. Even, I'm a big pusher trying to break this EU-US barrier. That's my thing. Together, we will do more as a team. Halo will relinquish and thrive as being cooperative with one another and knowing what's going on. That's not to say that everyone uses this and not TopMid. No way. I think we should all have as individual things, because we still need to talk about our own tournaments within our own community, and there's still a lot more going on in our own community that we need our own space for, and so do the Americans. But with this one, it's not. It's breaking the barriers. People like myself who enjoy knowing what's going on in the US will see that more with this. They're going to be giving you. I mean, we know AGL has sprung up since the demise of MLG, and anything you want to know about Knoxville at the moment, it's all over there. It's on the front page news. But they're going strong, and I think they'll do well. And a big credit to you guys. And I just recommend that anyone go and sign up, even if it's not, even if you're not going to use it, just get signed up there and have a look at it, take a look, see what you think, and just drop on now and again to keep up to date with the latest stuff. We do it on our forum. I just think it's going to bring people together a little bit more.
I'll tell you what's really, really special about the GoBeyond project as well, is that the entire site was funded by donators.
Yes.
So that whole site, the whole server, the whole the whole setup, it's all funded by the Halo community that have been watching their YouTube channel.
Does anybody know what they got given? Because I don't. I know I saw a lot of messages going out from people saying anyone who donated more than $50, I think, please go check your emails. As now I think I saw Saucy Saws do that one, and possibly even Book 57 maybe. Don't quote me on that second one. But I saw several and retweets of saying anyone who donated more than $50, please check your emails, mates. I don't know what those guys have got for it, but at the end of the day, look what you get out of it. What you put in is what you get. I mean, going back to donating, I myself got paid. I donated just over or just under £25 to the TopMid's, the Black Magic box cause, to bump it up to $200. We're now at $200, guys. So just a little on that one. It's closing in. I think, what's the target figure? It's $700 or $900.
It's $1,000 to buy the.
Wrong on both counts then.
Yeah, it's to buy the at
150 there. Well, 1/5, and that's just on forum people donating. You know, it's even 1/5. I think to get $200 just from forum users is still, that's people giving something back. You know, and it's a good achievement to everyone. So if I encourage anyone else to donate, I've donated. Get your hands in your pocket. Stop being tight. Go on, do it. It's worth it.
Back onto GoBeyond. What I really like about their new site as well is that sort of it's the epicenter of all the Halo content that's pretty much coming out. You look at sort of Halo Council's content, and I don't mean to slate either site because I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here as a content creator from our site. But if you look at the Halo Council's content, it's kind of slipped off a little bit. And now you look at GoBeyond, and I know they've taken a few aspects from the Halo Council after the infamous split of Nexy's antics. They've taken all the positive aspects and all the great content producers, and they've just taken them on board on GoBeyond. And now all the quality content is coming out on GoBeyond, and that new website is going to be absolutely booming. And content can only be a good thing for the community. So it's going to be a good place to be on GoBeyond.net. It's teambeyond.net, I should say.
It's when you look at, I'm just looking at them both now, for instance, and we're going to drop on this anyway. But when you kind of look at them, I mean, they're not too far similar. But even the GoBeyond is just so well built in it. When you look at it, it's so smart, so stylish.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, they've really done a good job. So from us here at the team at Back to Basics, and I dare say from TopMid as well. Well done. It is the community at TopMid. That's not actually TopMid, by the way. That's just the community over there. It's it's a good job, guys, and well done. And it only backs up this thing of helping more, you know, to get this game where it needs to be and to keep it alive and to push for better.
I mean, like I say, just quickly, like I made an introduction, Fred, and this is touching on what you were saying, that we need to bring the communities closer together, regardless of how far apart we are. And I made an introduction, Fred. And a few people replied, and one of them being one of the administrators, which is Saucy. And he basically just said to me, you know, it's basically said it was good to have me, and, you know, he's looking to make more of an effort to try and get the Americans and Europeans together. And because he knows as much as anyone, like, we're not stupid people. The only way we're going to survive properly is if everyone gets, you know, on the same page. You know, I mean, obviously, as you said, we still need our sites to organize our tournaments. But he even said that hopefully we can get enough where we can get to a point where we can have our own area on the site to discuss events. I mean, you know, they're willing to do that for us. You know, why shouldn't we be taking advantage of it? I mean,
yeah, definitely. I'm gonna. I think even us as a team here at Back to Basics, we even if it's only, you know, we should definitely post stuff on there. Definitely post a lot more on there and post this kind of. I'm personally, I spoke to Harry about it, so I'm going to post a video on there and say who we are and what we do and stuff like that. But if we can bridge the gap, and also if any of the the Beyond guys are watching this, I've invited APK on before, and he said it was working. But if there are any of the GoBeyond guys watching this, please get in contact. My Twitter handle's here, and if you want to add me on Skype, it's just SimsV2. Give us a shout, come on the show, and talk about it. Tell us what it's about and why Europeans should visit it and post on there as such. Yeah, well done, good job.
And like the thing that's good about them is that they have this vision, where they want to bring everything together and make the best possible content. Whereas, I'm not pointing any fingers, but we at TopMid, we seem to have this really strong negativity towards what we're doing. There's not a lot of progress. We're not all working for the same thing. The site is a multi-site, which is fair enough. Like there's League of Legends, there's all sorts to do and to look at. Whereas, GoBeyond is one mindset, and it shows for people like me who had just joined the site today.
I think the mindset, as you touched on there, is completely different from site to site. I mean, similar to what I said from the Halo Council, is they're sort of taking the site, the community of the site that are passionate about content and that really, really appreciate the content that is coming out of GoBeyond, and they're taking them with them, and that's just going to spur the guys over at Beyond Entertainment on. I mean, if you're producing content for a community that absolutely loves what you're doing and absolutely loves Halo and wants to see Halo succeed, then that's only a good thing. And that's going to make you want to do more. That's going to make you sort of push for better even. So I think that's a really nice positivity that they've got going on over there.
Right. Enough of that. We're going to smash on now. I'm going to pass over to you two guys. We're going to move on to our final subject of the night. Slinky, you've looked at this one a little bit more in depth. I know you want to speak about this one, so I'm not even going to announce it. I'm going to pass it straight up to you, fella, and give you the honours of the final subject of the night.
Well, we have all been waiting for a new Halo game, and it arrived in maybe not the kind of form that everyone was expecting. 343 announced that they're going to be releasing a game for Windows 8. A lot of rolled eyes sort of across the board. No one really knew what was going on there. But as I said before, they've kind of announced a mobile sort of game. It's sort of optimized for touchscreens, so we're talking tablets, we're talking mobiles, Windows mobiles in particular. And any mobile running Windows 8 will be able to run this game. It's essentially a top-down touchscreen Halo game, and it sure is something. It looks really
better than
really,
nothing. That's what it is. You should be grateful.
No, it's not. It's not better than nothing. I would rather they focus on games that are actually worth something. I mean, obviously, I haven't had a chance to play it. I haven't seen barely any gameplay. I've seen about a minute of gameplay, and it looks like a mobile game with a load of Halo skins thrown on it, and it's almost, I think it's kind of an insult actually to the fan base, because this isn't a game that's, I mean, again, this is assumptions, but looking at the gameplay solely, it looks like a game that's going to be cheap and just terrible. It's not a Halo 2. It's not a Halo 3. It's not something that they're passionate about. It's not even Halo 3 ODST, and I know a lot of people sort of wrote that game off, but it was really.
You cannot write that off.
It was so well done. ODST was absolutely fantastic, but this game, it looks nothing like that. I'd love to give you guys some more details on this, but it's still kind of foggy. There aren't really a lot of details to go on, but first impressions, it looks absolutely terrible. So, yeah.
Basically, it's the first time. I know you can't wait to rip into this, but it's the first time the series has been turned into a touch-based game, and I think it will be the last, because it looked like Halo Wars, but controlling one person. And don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed Halo Wars. It wasn't that bad. I'm used to Command and Conquer, but it was a good shot. But there was a previous thing they done with the tablet or the Windows Phone, where you could access all your stats in game, told you when things were coming up. You can connect directly to Waypoint, and it was the lowest downloaded app ever created by Microsoft in terms of a game. loading like a Mass Effect thing that you could download. It was the worst, and they decided to go, okay, well that didn't do very well, so let's do this instead.
Well,
and I can understand, people putting time into it, a lot of effort into it, but it's a bit of a shame because not a lot of people are going to buy it, especially not any one of us. I doubt. But I hope.
I mean, coming onto what you said, sorry to cut you off, Sims, I know you are so excited to talk about this, but what they've done as well is they've taken a fan base that's already crippled by the sort of the almost disappointment of Halo 4, and they've taken that already sort of small fan base that's left, they've segregated them again by putting it on Windows Phone. Who here has a Windows Phone? I mean, there's only 3 of us here, but I don't have a Windows Phone. I don't know anyone that has a Windows Phone.
I don't know a single person who has one. Not a single person.
I only found out when this was released that Windows Phones existed. No joke. I knew they did tablets, but I didn't know it was a phone. So yeah, they've kind of
I actually think there's some sort of stupid stat, because I always thought it'd be iPhones and things like that, but I'm pretty sure it's some ridiculous stat like, I think Nokia. Don't quote me right. A Nokia's running the Windows. Is that something? I can't remember.
I don't really
Anyway,
know.
I'm not getting into that shit. But yeah, no, I just depending on how much it is, I don't know why you think I'm so excited about it. I'm not. Don't worry. I don't really do mobile gaming. I barely get enough time to do this as much as I can, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree in the sense that maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't have done this and maybe spent more time in it. But it could be quite a clever little marketing scheme. And I think this is where they're going for a little bit, is the fact that they maybe try to reach out the Halo brand to other people. They realise, right, we've bollocksed up, we need to get some more people involved here. And it might be just an advertising thing to move on to a different market and try and grab people through the mobile sector. I don't know. We can only guess why they've released this game or why this game is going to be released as such. But don't knock it till you tried it. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it end of the day, do you know what I mean? I don't think they're going to have their own team. I don't think it'll take any time away from necessarily doing what we want them to do, and that is Halo 4. But take it with a pinch of salt. Let it come out first. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It'd just be another piece of shit on your phone, but...
The other thing is that the characters, none of them are from the actual games that we're used to. There's no, keys, there's none of those characters, and I'm pretty sure only 2 of them that are mentioned are in one of the books. So, again, it's not exactly... It is aimed at Halo people, but it's not aimed at the typical, Halo players. So.
Right, okay. Right, guys. I've just got Hamza asking if we can... Is it? Oh, no, it's not. It's Harry. Are you wanting to say something, Harry, before we cut off?
Yeah, just quickly before we go, obviously before next week's episode is released, E3 will be coming, and there's been rumours circulating that there may be a couple of Halo games coming at E3 because of the announcement of the Xbox One. So there's been a couple of titles that have been mentioned, and sort of just rumours. Again, it's just speculation at this point in time.
Adam's beard is being stroked. He's thinking...
But as we know, one of them is going to be a bit more on the Halo Spartan Assault, unfortunately. But the other game could potentially be Halo 5. So next week's show could be big. Could be big. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. We'll obviously have all the juicy little tidbits for you. So yeah, make sure you tune into next week's show to get all the lowdown from E3.
Right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. A couple of things. First of all, tonight's been there's not been a lot we need to talk about. I know it's settings again. I'm sorry. We just go over them because we have to, because we want to tell you what's going on. When Ghosty Armor's V4 comes out, we are going to do a final bit on those. Hopefully that's kind of going to be it for the competitive scene. Then we'll get some settings that we just get stuck into and do the little changes now and again. Got AGL 7 coming up. We'll be doing a little write-up and a review of that eventually once that's over and done with, and we'll see how teams come out. Rain, if you didn't know, to the US Americans out there, Rain are a English sponsor, game sponsor, and they are currently sponsoring Ambush. We are hopefully going to have members, managing members, or even maybe team players, I'm hoping, wink wink Matt, sort it out, on the show from Ambush. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. We've got a couple of things. We have a new European sponsor that is looking for a team currently. E-Menacey Sports will talk to hopefully Mr. Joe Haynes. Some of you will know him as Haynes in game. He is looking for a new sponsorship. We might talk to him next week. There's quite a few things in the pipeline that we've got. We want more guests on. We are mainly a talk show, such more us three talking about topics. Now and again, we are going to bring people on. We want to have a discussion with them. But I am keen to get an American, either US Pro, talk about AGL and what he thinks, just his thoughts on AGL and the V4 setting and things like that, or someone from the Beyond Entertainment to come on and tell us about Beyond, tell the EU about Beyond. And also, final thing before we sign off, I want to thank everyone who retweeted the show. This show, in one night, went from having just short less than 100 viewers. I spent 2 hours in my bed tweeting Ghosty Army, APK, Saucy Sauce. Is it Sauce or Sauce Sours? I can never spell it right. Source 41. Gandhi, Green Skull, and Halo Council GoBeyond. I can't remember which one. Everyone retweeted it. I'd turned my phone off, notifications coming out my ass at 2 a.m. And from being just short of 100, I woke up 7 hours later and it was just shy of 1,000. 900 views in one night. It was incredible. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who retweeted it and watched the show. Let's get some more bit of love for you guys. Some more followers on our YouTube channel, if you don't mind. We're trying to really, really build that up. I want to try and hit the 100 mark. I'm going to push for that. Get us all on Twitter. Get us added to Twitter. Me especially, if you want to know when the shows are coming out, things like that. Get us on Twitter. Get us added. Get it retweeted. Guys, thanks for watching. Sims as Slinky and HMZ signing off. Good night.
Bye.